Hello, and welcome to The Whole Equation. Pixar are one of the most critically acclaimed studios in the world. And the key to their success has long been established as being down to their storytelling. This is best exemplified by their short films, which tell some of Pixar's most memorable and moving stories in shorts which last no more than 10 minutes. So, how do they do this? Well, today I'm going to explore what I believe is the most important part of storytelling. That is story structure. Every Pixar short film follows a simple and familiar structure. Each story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Incredibly, by following this structure and adhering to a few simple rules, Pixar managed to tell diverse and emotionally satisfying stories in the briefest of time. So let's learn from Pixar and start at the beginning. The beginning of a story first establishes the world. The world can be very familiar, or it could be more fantastical. Regardless, the first few moments are designed to create an impression of a full and living world which draws us in. However, the world itself is not enough to bring us into the story. The most important part of the beginning of the story is to establish a protagonist. A protagonist needs to be someone the audience is going to identify with. That is, someone the audience will root for. The problem is, of course, how do you do this? How do you get an audience to care about an umbrella? Or an anthropomorphic dumpling? Well, one of the best ways is to have the character want something. That is, give them a motivation. It could be something simple, like a rabbit wanting a carrot. Or something deeper, like wanting companionship. In a Pixar story, all the characters' actions are motivated by their wants. By understanding a character's motivations, we understand why they act the way they do. And by understanding their actions, we come to empathize with them. However, eventually in every story, the protagonist needs to face a problem. In other words, there needs to be a but. Having a problem is essential, as it creates the drama which draws us into the middle of the story. Frequently, this means the protagonist is stopped from getting what they want. This can be because another character wants something different. For example, in Bao, a mother wants to protect her son. But the son wants independence. These competing wants drive forward the rest of the story. What is very important is the events in the middle of a story don't just happen. Instead, there should be the consequences of what's happened previously. One bird wants new friends, but the other birds don't like him. So this happens, and therefore this happens. In a cartoon, you might think anything can happen, but there still needs to be an inner logic which the audience understands. For example, Presto the Magician has a magic hat. Which allows the writers to do this joke. And because the writers have shown us the characters' motivations, we understand why the characters respond the way they do. The middle act of the story is about letting this conflict or drama build until we reach a climax. We might start with a gentle argument, but the action needs to slowly intensify until we reach a peak. And it's at this point that the protagonists are furthest away from the thing they want. Of course, if we left the story there, it wouldn't be very satisfying. The story needs resolution, and it's this resolution which marks the ending. One way to resolve the story, of course, is to have the characters get what they want. However, in the best of these stories, the characters come to some realization. At the end of Presto, when the rabbit finally gets the carrot, it's because he and the magician have reached an understanding. Alternatively, a character may realize that they didn't want the thing after all. For example, realizing that your life is richer when you embrace your child's independence. This change in the character of the story, what's known as the story arc, is the key to great storytelling. Ultimately, a story is only going to be satisfying if the characters have grown over the story, and the way to achieve this is a great beginning, middle, and end.